5. Casting down arguments of people, casting down arguments, and everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Bringing, and this is also another very good one, it says, bringing every thought into captivity. That is what people are thinking. Bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ, and being ready to punish all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. Hallelujah be to the resurrected Lord. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down arguments, and everything that exalted itself above the knowledge of Christ, bringing every negative thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ, and punishing all disobedience when our obedience is fulfilled. Let's start with one song that I like very much. Na wotu wonyankopon na kwa mo Señor,
na kwa mo Señor, oh kwamani se eradi nyankopon adini na sutufwe unyuma yekesi na oh, Guamani Jumse, Eradinya Kupo, Adinina Sutufue, Unyuma Yakasi, oh, Beresante.
That's a very good song. I like that song because it talks about, it's very historical and it's very apostolic. So I really love that song. It says that we are singing the praise songs that the servant of God Moses sang in the past. I want us to take one more song now. Just very quickly, we'll deal with it. What do you call it? One wo nim wo nyameno, one som take over, man.
Every side, one friend know Jesus Christ to be no
Ya ye nim ye nyame no ye besom no dada. Wona wonim wonya wansom na nye hwe ne. Ye ye nim ye nyame de ye besom no dada. Say friend is saying friend Jesus Christ. To me nyina hye ne nsa. Those of us who are aware of our Lord will worship him. Those who are not aware of the powers of our Lord, they may decide not to worship him. But those of us who know the power of our Lord will worship him. One last song, and then we have to do a Ghana song because we're in Accra and it's Homo season. We have to do a Ghana song. But just before that, I'd like us to do this song, another tree song. Unfortunately, another tree song. Next time we'll do a West songs. And we'll institute this like once a month or once in every 2 months. We can do something like that. Isn't that good? Okay. So the last one is Una wo freyen sayem rameye wejuma. Una wo freyen. Let's take it up.
Una wo freyen sayem rameye wejuma. Una wo freyen sayem rameye wejuma. Una wo freyen sayem rameye wejuma. Yabo yabo yabo. Sayam Rame Yawachuma. When I will fray, Sayam Rame Yawachuma. When I will fray, Sayam Rame Yawachuma. Yabo, Yabo, Yabo. Bira, yes, way. Mami Shama. Bira, yes, way. Mami Shama. Bira, yes, way. Mami Shama. Bira, yes, way.
Let's do one last Ghana song. We are in Accra, isn't it? And it's a beautiful month of August, and that means the season of Homo War. So let's do a Ghana song. There's one Ghana song that I really like. I don't know how to sing all of it, but I'm sure the choir will be able to do it. Amanu. Take it about.
Hallelujah.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
iPhone papa ye wo homa
so open iPhones accessories papa dia menhwe baby a
me mo akwa ba EBA phones and accessories
Sabani EBA yeton iPhones any ho accessories iPhone 50 XL cost 16 Pro Max accessories ye wo charger AirPods any iPhone ho akade nyina nianoma ye ni sikapudu e de beto iPhone say ya ankrankre boja and na say abon adwuma ye phone nyina for 40% beji iPhone bia ope na ni aka no wo de bosome miensa etua ne nkakra ekwan a obefa so de achi enyi dial *713*5571#. Oba, shenu so se wode wo Ghana card ene nia ye kire se wo ye adwuma hwehwe ye kire kwan e wo circle mo ene tiptoe line ni modern photos enchen ho a afein so se wo ba American mall ye ni odo rice ene di nhwani kuma senso ye wo edum Central Prisons runabout ajekum abonsan ni mo frayen e wo numbers na ebu screen ni so no EBA phones no hassle cra.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Rush, 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 young kids. Rush, 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 2 times a day. Rush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit. Happy smile.
Welcome to Rehoboth Palm, Ayumensa Gated Community. Nestled between the vibrant city of Accra and the breathtaking Ebri Mountains lies a serene gated community. Here, you'll find litigation-free, fully serviced demarcated plots to build your dream house in a gated community surrounded by lush greenery and the calming beauty of nature perfect canvas for your dream home you want to build. With well-tarred roads, a reliable drainage system, electricity and water, fully serviced plots are ready for your vision. Enjoy exclusive amenities like a swimming pool, tennis and basketball courts, all within the comfort of your community. Start your mornings with peaceful walks or energizing jogs under the shade of palm trees and stunning views of the Peduase Ebri Mountains and city skyline. Starting from 450,000 Ghana cedis and a flexible payment plan, visit www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com to make inquiries. Call or WhatsApp us on 020-682-3524, 055-375-1933, or 024-476-4499. Rehoboth Properties, quality housing for all.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
me didn't tum. Mr. Friend, Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Friend, me once now. Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain was key to double the action. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Friend is Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso.
Tum preko.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why won't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Star 712 hush. You go feel the the luckiest. Kofi from Georgia be luckiest. From Natepia, cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
God Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it at all, so would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Hey!
Is that his car?
Everywhere.
Dial star 712 #. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
There's a problem with what? Good evening. I heard there was a sound problem. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I think that you can hear me now. Good evening and welcome to the show. I was saying, what you didn't hear, I was saying that the New Patriotic Party is showing that having suffered a heavy election defeat in December 2024, barely 8 months ago, they are poised to have a big selection of their next presidential candidate for the 2028 election. Now, the conversations about why the MPP is selecting a candidate early seems to have died down, and many people have agreed that the MPP should be selecting their candidate early in January. That's what appears is going to happen. So, on your screen now, thank you very much, producer. Left to right, Kwabena Eje Ejapon. Signed, sealed, delivered. He has submitted his form. Kennedy Akumpreko Ohene Ejapon. Honorable Ken, signed, sealed, delivered. He submitted his forms. Commander Brian Achampong. Yeah, I said that. Commander Brian Achampong. Signed, sealed, delivered. He has submitted his form. Vice President, former presidential candidate of the party, Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, signed, sealed, delivered, and he submitted his form. Dr. Oseyao Educhum, the education avatar. We'll show you the videos of the 5 gentlemen and listen to what those who submitted their candidature yesterday, Brian Achampong, Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, and those who submitted today, Dr. Osei Educhum and Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia and see what they said. The videos are very interesting. You see some very interesting people appearing to support their favorite candidates. I was delighted to see my good friend Kwesi Nyantakyi, former president of the Ghana Football Association, the most successful GFA president of the Ghana Football Association of all time. Kwesi Nyantakyi has been more successful than Ohini Jan. Those of you who are too young may not know the name Ohini Jan if you're not reading the football history. But Ohini Jan was the most successful GFA president before Kwesi Nyantakyi took Ghana to successive World Cups. And that was the big story. Kwesi Nyantakyi found his way on the political altar yesterday, when he came in to support Kennedy Ohinejapon. It was a delight to see how the MPP people are pushing the agenda. The roads were blocked yesterday, but they were even closed today for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's presentation of forms that came before the final one, Osei Educhum. Last to submit, best to lead, we will find out. Osei Educhum had a good message for the people. Kwabena Japan was the first to submit his forms last Tuesday. So it looks like it's working. Development of democracy is working. We have a lot to talk about that tonight. Also, the conversation about, what was the word the government says we should use? Obake, is that it? I'll get to that though. But the government and his people are concerned that you come to Accra and then you say Akwaba is Akan. Then you come to Accra, you say Akwaba. I do not often agree with Kweku Azar, or those who don't like him calling Kweku Azar, but I'm going to read to you something he put out on social media. His party is called the Go-Go Party, and they were complaining about Sal for many, many years. He would always write and complete his writings with Sal is the cardinal sin of the 8th Parliament. Eventually, the Sal has been resolved. But Kweku Azar put up something today about that, and I think it's very interesting. We're going to read. Oh, that's him, eh? I like his tie. Kweku Azar is a professor of law. Is that what it is? These days, when you say somebody's a professor, you have to be careful, especially if they're coming from America. But Kweku Azar wrote something that I'm going to talk to you about. And then also, Captain Smart. A few days ago, I called Captain Smart and I texted him. He said, and he responded, I said, "How are you, bro?" I said, "Hey, wow." And I said that, "I'm looking for an interview on yours. Can you do an interview?" And blah, blah, blah. And then we talked about it. But I was watching him. You know, I watch everybody. In the morning, I watch everything. Start from City. I do Joy, Sefakai. Now Sefakai is back. I'm back on it. I'm always listening. And I came across a video of Captain Smart saying something about Kwabena Dubois. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'd like to show it to you sometime at the beginning of this program before we get into the real politics. Johnson Asiedu Nketia has made a statement about Galamsey, and his statement seems to be contradicting what Sami Okujeto Ablakwa said. And then we also have Joseph Yamin in there. It looks like a very interesting conversation. What did the party chairman say? The chairman of the National Democratic Congress, the respected Johnson Asiedu Nketia, said that it's going to be very difficult for any president to impose a state of emergency on the Galamsey because it will risk economic benefits. That's what he said. I think it's yesterday. He told Umaru Sanda of City FM, Umaru Sanda Esquire, I like to call him. He will tell me that I should wait for it to happen very soon. And I'm sure that is going to happen very, very soon. We were looking at the GTech. You are a doctor, you're not a doctor, you're a professor, you're not a professor. Remove the professor name. You can be Deputy Minister of Health, but you're not a professor. That conversation, you know what came up? We found something interesting about that. It relates to our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I'll be talking about that. And then we get into the full politics. John Dramani Mahama, that's Dr. Kwame Nkrumah over there. I'll come to that in a bit. John Dramani Mahama, president of Ghana, has made an announcement abroad. The announcement he made is significant for Ghanaians living here, but it was made abroad. He said that he is not running for a third term. What does that portend for his party, the NDC, and for the conversations going on within the MPP right now? Lawyer Akbar will join me later in the studio. He works for the Dr. Bawumia camp, and he'll be talking to me about the essence of the filing and how the race is going to shape up. Dr. Bawumia has been battered by the Brian Achampong conversations about he's this, he's that, he's from this tribe, he's from that tribe. Some people have attacked Brian Achampong. Some people say Brian Achampong is speaking facts. Brian Achampong himself came back to explain that he hasn't said anything wrong. Perhaps we'll get an inclination into that. It's 25 minutes to the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. And let's get onto the touch screen and begin our conversation and analysis today. I like to go to a touch screen with my phone so that my producers at large who would like to send me text messages can always do so, and I'll read it. Manche, that's a guy Manche. He's a very good guy. Very one of the media-friendly guy Manches that we have had in a very long time. As soon as I talked about text messages, you see, the people are already sending me the text messages to help me and assist me to render the program correctly and very well. Alrighty, let's get on with the facts. Okay. Somebody has sent me something important. I think I'll look at it and put it on. So Garmanche says, or people around him says, I don't know whether it came from him or it came from his secretariat. They are concerned that when you come to Accra, the capital city of Ghana, and you arrive from the airport or go to any important place, the welcome that hits you is always Akwaba, which is Akan. And he's concerned that Akwaba, you can do Akwaba at the Kumasi Prempeh the First airport, you can do Akwaba at the Sunyani airport, you can do Akwaba at Domahini's Palace sometime, and you cannot do Akwaba in Accra where there are guns. It's generated a bit of conversation. People think that it's unnecessary. People think it's important that he puts his foot down. People think that the people in Accra are being taken for granted, even though this is their land. I saw a Facebook post that was also delineating the statistical data on how many people are in Accra who are Dagbanis, how many people are in Accra who are Bonus, how many people are in Accra who are Kans, etc., etc. All that is a matter of data and statistics. But this is an anthropological conversation, and it's sociology. The people of Accra are concerned, the Garmanche is concerned that you can't come to Accra and then be calling yourself, be indicating account things. So as we were going through the document, I saw this very important article by Kweku Azar, our friend in America. Chief, how are you? Okay, his photograph came, but they went. Yeah, Chief, how are you? Good evening. You and I don't agree on many things, but this one, I think I agree with you. Do I agree? I think it's just important. It's food for thought. I do not necessarily agree or disagree with him, but it's important food for thought, and it shows some thinking went through it. Let's read what he wrote. Okay, so this is what he said. He said on social media, Facebook it was, that we have certain words or terms that have been nationalized. They are so deeply embedded in everyday life that they transcend ethnic, regional, or even linguistic boundaries. These words cut across tribes and tongues. No matter where you go in the country, people understand them. They have crossed into popular consciousness, everyday conversation, and even national identity. Let's not fight these words. Let's embrace them as part of our shared national identity. I like his preamble. The preamble that he sets out is very important. And so in the following paragraphs, he's going to explain and defend the preamble that he has placed on this thing. Let's look at it now. Okay. He says, and he's inviting other people to also write their own words. You know that I'm in a research with some people. We are trying to show, and maybe in this month of Homowo, we'll bring it up. We're trying to show words in Ga and Tree, Akan Tree, that are used for the same thing. They mean the same thing. Akan and Tree. Utirinkwa is used by the Gans to welcome a baby. Is used by the Akans to welcome a baby. Is the same word. Utirinkwa, and the same. It means the same thing. And there are many of those words that we are putting together. But here's another example of what Kweku Azar talks about. It's interesting. He says, my top 10 national words. So he calls them national words. He says that these words should not be seen in the context of a language connected to a tribe. It should not be seen in the context of a tribal expression. It should be looked at as a national word. It has come to gain national acceptability, irrespective of the language from which it derives. So let's look at it. Akwaba is an Akan word that means welcome. Ghana's calling card to the world. It's Akwaba, it's Akan. Ayeko, he says, is Ghana. It says, well done. Congratulations. The universal praise word. Chale, he says, is Ghana. It means buddy, my friend. Probably the most popular Ghanaian slang word globally is Chale, and is Ghana. It's used by everyone. Trotro, I didn't know Trotro was Ghana. I didn't know that. Trotro is Ghana and is used as a minibus transport, the great leveler. All of us have a Trotro story. So you go to Kumasi, they say, make a fat Trotro. You go to Cape Coast, they say, Efa Trotro, You go to Nzima, they say trotro. You go to Volta region in Zalukopa, they say trotro. You go to Gumprugu Yoyo, it's trotro. But trotro is actually a Ga word. Very, very interesting. So trotro is Ga, is used by everyone. Cocoa is Akan, is used for porridge, a breakfast staple across the regions. So cocoa is Akan. In Ghana, they say cocoa, miae cocoa. You go to Moli Dagbani, is cocoa, Awusa cocoa, Mori cocoa, all of that. Cocoa is Akan, but it's used by everyone. National word. Very interesting. There are a few more. Obroni is Akan, foreigner, especially white person. From playful tease to everybody, everyday descriptor. And for whatever reasons, always Kwesi. So they say Kwesi Bruni. I don't know whether the Gans say Bruni. I'm not sure how they say it. I've not heard it many times. But yes, Bruni is universal. Doomso is Akan, on and off power outage, sadly nationalized by shared experience. So they say Doomso. I mean, Doomso, eh? Doomso, Doomso is Akan, but the Gans use it. The same way the Akans also use the trotro. And then you have another one, Akpeteshi. Akpeteshi is Ghana. Akpeteshi has a political connotation, so I know it's Ghana. Akpeteshi is broken into Oba Akpeteshi, Noba Nufio. And where does Akpeteshi come from? Akpeteshi comes from the ban imposed by the colonial authority in Ghana because they were banning the local gin. And then they wanted to introduce their Campari and red label and black label, which is far more expensive and perhaps presented as superior to the Akpeteshi, until Kasapreko came back and redid our Akpeteshi, recalibrated Akpeteshi and made it into a hip drink. Akpeteshi was thought to be for people of low level, those of us foot soldiers. The Akpeteshi was for us, and then the Campari is for the other people, that kind of thing. So Akpeteshi is Ga. It sounds a bit away if you look at it, but it's Ga because it's in those days when it was banned. When you want to take Akpeteshi, it is a banned substance, so they'll take you to court. At the colonial court, and perhaps they will imprison you. So you drink it in secret. You take that Akpeteshi in secret. So Oba Akpeteshi, Oba Nufio. So Akpeteshi is to bend. That's why I'm doing that. So you bend a little bit, you take the drink, and then you sip a little bit, you beat your chest, and then you move on. Oba Akpeteshi, Oba Nufio. So that's Akpeteshi. It's a Ga word, local gin, loved, feared, and forever cognac, as they say. So you go to Kumasi today, and you go to Pankrono Estates. Mama Akpeteshi, never know why, but Akpeteshi is Ga. Okay, all right. Shinkafa is Hausa for rice. He says, I don't know that. That's not too common, isn't it? Shinkafa is Hausa for rice, the everyday grain that feeds the nation. And then Jigodi is Ewe, and it means patience. So you go to Makola market, two people are fighting. Hey, Charlie, but Jibodi more. Jibodi feel. Jibodi is Ewe, but Ghana people use it too. I thought because I talked about Akpeteshi. You see, I'm coughing. Sorry. It's 17 minutes to the top of the hour at 3 o'clock. What did I say? Uba Akpeteshi no ba no feel. All right. So Kweku Azad, this is a beautiful article. I have to congratulate you for this. I think that he's doing very well. This is good. This really feeds into our social thinking and makes us think about what we are doing. Really, really good. He didn't come out to criticize the Gamanche or to support him, but he presents a very beautiful thesis about all of these things. Chief, this one salute, one salute. Add me to GoGo. I want to be the general secretary of GoGo. He has a political party called GoGo, and he's advocating that they should cancel their citizenship so that he can come and run for parliament for Ladadeko Tupon, and maybe we'll vote for him. We don't know whether we'll vote for him or not. Okay, so there goes that story. All right. Now, I was going to go to the Dubois story, but I've been sent something that I need to read before I do that. So let me take the Galamsey story first, and then I'll come to the Dubois story so that I can just pass through this that has been sent to me. All right. Or should we do the G-Tech album? Maybe let's do the G-Tech thing. Whilst we are here on this one, on the gist, let's do the G-Tech and get it out of the way. So we were thinking about the G-Tech situation, yeah? And here is our G-Tech boss, Dr. Jinapo and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We wanted to add our voice to the G-Tech thing. What are we adding? We are saying that Mr. G-Tech is sanitizing the system, which is very commendable. He's sanitizing the system. So he's telling people that you don't have PhD. For me, my own view of the matter, and I apologize if it's not a popular view, I do not understand why you don't have a PhD. You have not worked for a PhD. Then you say that you are a doctor. You don't get anything from it. You will not lose anything if you are not a doctor. You won't, nothing. You will not lose anything. I think you can do it for fun if you want to, but you don't write it. Many years ago, I visited a friend of mine in America, in California. We were writing a document. I think he was busy and he said I should fill some form for him. Something about this American people, their stuff. So I was writing it and it got to his name and I said, doctor. He said, hey, don't write doctor in that document. You think this is Ghana? America, you go and write doctor. I said, but are you not a doctor? He said, no. It's all but, it's Dr. ABD. That's what he said. I said, what is ABD? He said, it's doctor, but it's all but dissertation. I said, I don't understand. He said, I've just done the coursework. I have not finished the dissertation. So I am doctor, but I'm left with the dissertation. I had a good laugh. We all laughed. He said, don't write it. Just call me Mr. If you write that in America, you will see. You think this is Ghana. This was 2006, I remember. So thinking about that story, I am delighted that Dr. Jinapor is doing the work he's doing, because at that time, my friend told me that this is America. You can't do that. You think this is Ghana. So he was trying to suggest that America was operating at a superior level. And it was true. But here we are back in 2005 and Ghana is doing the same thing. So today, somebody is writing that thing for him. You can say the same thing about Ghana as he said about America. Then we are delighted and he's doing the right thing. But there's a but, a huge small but. Now, I'm thinking that perhaps those for whom the honorary doctorate has been given, he should allow them to use it, but there should be a way in which they say it's honorary. So he writes doctor into brackets, small HON, like honorable. And then you put that one in either brackets or something. And then you write your name. So that when we see Dr. Paul Adum Ochiri, we know that this Paul Adum Ochiri's doctor is honorary. Because honorary doctorate, they can decide on verification of the schools that the doctorate is coming from. Because you know that those who go to Oxford University, when they finish their first degree, the University of Oxford, based on the work they've done after first degree, awards them a master's that they don't really work for. That's the principle with the people who go to Oxford. Those of you who are lucky to go to Oxford, you get that thing. So if you finish Oxford and you work, and your work people think you are doing well, they award you a master's in Oxford. You don't have to work for it. So not all honorary degrees are bad. And honorary degrees should not be discouraged, because sometimes people work in a certain industry and the university, so University of Science and Technology, for instance, they're a science and technology university. Somebody has a first degree from there, he's an electrical engineer. He goes on to work for NASA. He does this, he does that, he does that. He does so many things. And you know, a lot of these foreigners, these abrofo that we work with, they don't do master's degree. Those of you who have engaged with foreign companies and you work with them, you will notice that they hardly do master's degree. Or you can even look at foreign politicians. Look at British prime ministers. Nobody is doctor anything. Take from Harold Wilson up to Tony Blair. No British prime minister is doctor nothing. Check the American presidents. Barack Obama is a PhD, but he never called himself Dr. Barack Obama. So even if you look at a president, you can see no politician, successful or otherwise in the West, is usually doctor this, doctor that, doctor that. You find a bit of that in Africa though. So, and some of them have honorary degrees. So those who have honorary degrees from a university that is credible, from a university that is awarding the person based on his work, I think Dr. Jinapor should perhaps delineate that and allow them to present it in a certain way. If the university from which you got, or the institution from which you got the PhD is for an honorary doctorate is questionable, he can deal with it. Because if he does this, our man here, our first president, his doctorate was honorary. Kwame Nkrumah's doctorate was honorary. Would you say that based on everything Nkrumah achieved, especially in global politics, that he's not deserving of an honorary doctorate? Lincoln University's president, Horace Mann Bond, awards Francis Kwame Nkrumah with an honorary degree during commencement convocation in 1951. Kwame Nkrumah became a Ghanaian politician, political theorist, and revolutionary. He served as Prime Minister of the Gold Coast from 1952 until 1957. He later served as the first Prime Minister and then President of Ghana from 1957 until 1966. Lincoln University via Getty Images. This is Francis Kwame Nkrumah receiving his honorary doctorate degree from his alma mater, Lincoln University based on the work he had achieved in Ghana between 1947 and 1951 when he became leader of government business and later prime minister. Are we going to suggest that Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah does not deserve to be a doctor? But the doctorate is honorary. You can put the photograph of it. Do you want me to read something? Okay. It says part of the academic procession at Lincoln. Okay, just academic procession, that's fine. Bring back Dr. Nkrumah and my GTech boss. So, yes, are we going to really look at it and say that Kwame Nkrumah is not deserving of a doctor? And my father told me a story about the 1979 election. The way back when I grew up a little bit. 79 I was small, but when I grew up, he told me that he said part of the reason why Victor lost the election were two things. That Victor was unmarried. Victor means Victor Usu, by the way, but they all call him Victor. Victor was unmarried. Victor was really cherished by the Ashanti people. They loved him. Victor Usu was really their man. They really, really loved him. He was a very distinguished lawyer. Victor started his politics with the CPP, if you know that. Victor, Kankan Buedu, Joe Appiah, they were all CPP guys, and then Asante Hene brought them together. We're going to begin a podcast of political history of Ghana. We're going to be saying these things. Watch out for that. It's coming very soon. So Victor also used to be with the CPP, right? Now, Victor, he told me that, the old man told me that Victor lost the election for two reasons. One, that he was unmarried, and it was used as propaganda by the Liman people. The other reason why he said Owusu lost the election was that the Liman people did propaganda and said that Kwame Nkrumah, or your doctor, Buzia, or your doctor, Liman, or your doctor, Upesa, or your Ghana president, or your doctor, Aden Victor Owusu, or your doctor, bra, and Sana Wabe, Ghana president. So I laughed. I said, no, but it worked. It worked on the people's mind. They thought, therefore, that Dr. Liman was superior to Victor Owusu because the story is true. Your first president, Kwame Nkrumah, or your doctor, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Buzia, Prime Minister Buzia, or your doctor, Dr. Abrifa Buzia, doctor from Oxford. So we now come to the third election. We are looking for a leader. We have Dr. Hila Liman, and you have Mr. Victor Owusu. No. We don't want that. We want Dr. Liman. Well, Liman won the election. We are not sure why he won it. Adam Mensah thought that they were better organized and they had a better message. But this is what the old man told me about why, two of the reasons why he thought Owusu lost the election. But Nkrumah's doctorate was honorary. Buzia's doctorate was not honorary. It was academic PhD. But Nkrumah's doctorate was honorary. So if today, Kwame Nkrumah wakes up this morning, Dr. Ajana Paul will say, hey, if you don't know and you use that doctor thing again, you will see. And what will Nkrumah say? What will the CPP say? Tell Nanaya Ajantwa that I mentioned her name and I was talking about Dr. Nkrumah. So that's the story. That's the story for this one at this time. You know what, viewers, let me take a short break. And then let me look at the document that has come to me. I think it's very important that I look at it. Let me take a short break. And then after that, when I come back, we'll do the Kwabena Dubois his story. And then we zoom into the politics of the day. MPP candidates, Dr. Educhum, Kennedy Ejapon, Brian Achampong. President Mahama says that he's not going a third term. Johnson Aksedu Katia and Ablakwa clashing on Galamsey. All of that coming to you in a bit.
Almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trotro from Kaswa. Why won't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Coffee from to jet be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're lucky, everybody go be the luckiest.
God Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it that way, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Mekwaya mabesisia. Abozig. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I tell me. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Aji. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share and
my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Chaco toothpaste.
Law training like the LLB in America, and that Barack Obama has that. He didn't have a PhD. So I sent the text to my people to check, and then they quickly came back to me. I love these young people. I asked them to check that this is what Prince is saying. Can you confirm that Barack Obama does not have a PhD? They came back to me and said that, yes, boss, it's true. He doesn't have a PhD. The only American president to have had a PhD is Woodrow Wilson. I love the young people. I didn't ask them for the second part, but they sent it to me. That's beautiful. That's what makes Good Evening Ghana great, you know. It makes Good Evening Ghana beautiful because we have so many young people who are thinking, they're thinking. So Woodrow Wilson is the only American president to have had a PhD. Barack Obama does not have a PhD, as I said. He has a Juris Doctorate from Harvard, and his first degree is from, I think, Princeton or so. Watch is one word another person sent to me on my phone. KNUST and came up with a degree in electrical engineering. His options after graduating electrical engineering in 2006 or whatever were several. He could have, with his electrical engineering degree, gone anywhere. He followed his mother, who was a public servant at the National Communication Authority, who working there felt that this company, if we get some sharp engineers, we are going very, very far. A son was an engineer. He said, Kwabena, why don't you come and consider working at NCA? And he laughed at his mother and said, me? I said, how much are they going to pay me? 200 Ghana cedis. No, I won't do it. He came to NCA nonetheless. Later on, he went abroad to work for a big international company that was building planes, because I think he got frustrated with the NCA small. So after 2-3 years, he said, Charlie, Mama, it's okay. I finished my national service to you and your NCA. I'm going. He left to London and he worked for this company that was building planes. He built Airbus and all of that. That's where he's coming from. I'm not sure how he came back to the NCA. I think somebody told, I don't know. So then he came back to the NCA and continued to work there. When I was on the NCA board, I sat with him and I heard his contributions and it was significant. So then he decides within the thing, he advises his bosses that I think we should set up another agency and call it the National Signals Bureau so that it will be doing what the BNC is doing now as an agency. It will be much stronger because the intelligence is moving from physical go and listen to using technology to do it. And as an intelligence institution, if we don't have a full technology session, we're going to be in trouble. He campaigns on this through his bosses all the way to the front of the president's desk, then into cabinet. It is then decided that, okay, you say you want to do Signals Bureau. Think through and put together a bill for Parliament and the Attorney General's drafters to consider. Kwabena Dubois, he leads a team to go through the entire bill, Act is now called Act 1040, 1040, Act 1040. They go through the entire process and make sure it is internationalized. Every single part of the bill connects to whether you are looking at high-level intelligence places like America, like UK, like Israel, South Africa, Sweden. You get all the stuff in there. And they set up a National Signals Bureau to deliver quality national security agenda for the protection of Ghana and for early warning signals on anything that could happen. Early warning signals, which is very, very important. Ghana is not just the oasis of peace in South Africa because of nothing. We are the oasis of peace in South Africa, first of all, because of the grace of God. And more important, the other important thing is because of the quality of our people. People like this guy, this electrical engineer. So if at the end, then he becomes National Signals Bureau boss, 2020-24 election, can MPP lose? He still works there, by the way, but he's at home. He's handed over to Mr. Tabuati, another very brilliant guy. Tabuati, who is at the Signals Bureau now, is a very good guy. He used to be at NITA. I know him. He's very sharp. Now, if Kwabena Duboahen is found guilty of the law, should it be to keep him in the Yoko cells for that huge time? This is a guy who has advanced the cause of the nation, working as National Signals Bureau. You want to take him to court, you can take him to court all you want. And then you do press conference and say he's a thief, he has stolen. If he has stolen, you can say it in court. The court will establish it. So when we do that, and tomorrow some 22-year-old boy whose father is a lecturer. Now, I have a nephew in KNUST. The young man, he was 18 or something. The guy is brutal. Brutal. I just don't want to mention his name. One day I'll mention his name. In fact, I spoke to him that he should come on this program. Let me interview him. He's just too sharp. Jeremy. His name is Jeremy. I won't mention his surname. Jeremy is so intelligent. He's an electrical engineer. He's studying electrical engineering. So if Jeremy finishes school, I say, Jeremy, can I take you to the NCA? He will tell me that, uncle, I should go to the NCA and they will treat me like they treated Kwabena Duboahen if you people are not in power. That's what Jeremy will tell me. But uncle, when the MPP lost the elections, look there. So if you take me there, then NDC comes next time, then they will come and, no, I don't want to do it. Jeremy will tell me he doesn't want to do it. Because of the way we do, there's a legal process. So anyway, Captain Smart had some very brutal things to say about I was watching with my mouth opened. I said, hey, Captain Smart? Asembeba Debi. Have a look at the video.
Documents are from the Attorney General's. Let me say this. We are building a country. We are not building a political party. Sir, Kwabena Duboahen, we are far basic every point A. No, they are to the private account to point B. Patch one is Attorney General kind. Now, Attorney General now has a case now they call court. No, the suit in the Republic versus Kwabena Duboahen, Angela Eje Boateng, Mildred Donko, and Advantage Solutions Limited. There's nowhere in this document just say Kwabena Duboahen we movie a buying seeker at their to private account. Who is deceiving who? Are you guys? What is wrong with you? Why? Why are you doing this? Why? You come to speak, organize a press conference, tell the entire nation that somebody moved money from point A to point B. Meanwhile, in your suit, it is not stated there. So who did you deceive?
So, Captain Smart is saying that one important thing the Attorney General said at the press conference that got everyone excited is that the accused person, Kwabena Duboahen, together with his wife, have taken money that belongs to the government and put it in their private account and squandered it. It's a very serious matter and everyone will be very annoyed. Everybody. So it's like I was working, Kwabena was doing food, I was working as chairman of Ghana Airport. Then it is found that I don't sign, the chairman of Ghana Airport doesn't sign signatures for bank, doesn't sign checks. I don't sign any check. But it say I'm managing director of Ghana Airport Company. That's a better example. I'm managing director of Ghana Airport Company. So I signed the check with the finance director. Then it is found that Ghana Airport Company accounts in Bank A. A transfer is occasioned by the managing director of 6 million Ghana cedis, not small money, 6 million Ghana cedis, or 1 million Ghana cedis, or 20,000 Ghana cedis, transferred to the account belonging to Paul Adomochi and his wife. This is what we were told. That this is what it was said that Kwabena Dubois had done. Captain Smart is telling us that the matter before the court, this allegation is not part of it. And it is making him angry. It's making him quite angry. That this allegation that they are making is not part of what they told us. That the thing they told us that stuck in our heads was that this Edubuahi guy, we have arrested him at the Kotuka airport and we are keeping him because do you know what he's done? He has taken government money and transferred it into a private account controlled by he and his wife. Captain Smart is saying, these are his words, that the matter before the court, these things are not pleaded. It's not there at all. Listen to Captain Smart again. Listen.
These documents are from the Attorney General's. Let me say this. We are building a country. We are not building a political party. Sir, Kwabena Dubois, we are far buying free point A. No, they are quite to the private account to point B. Part of one is Attorney General kind. Now, Attorney General Nankasa case now they call court no. The suit in the Republic versus Kwabena Dubois, Angela Ejebuaten, Mildred Donko, and Advantage Solutions Limited. There's nowhere in this document just say Kwabena Dubois we're moving a buying seeker and they are to private account. Who is deceiving who? Are you guys? What is wrong with you? Why? Why are you doing this? Why? You come to speak, organize a press conference, tell the entire nation that somebody moved money from point A to point B. Meanwhile, in your suit, it is not stated there. So who did you deceive? What can I say? Attorney General here press conference, no? Or can say, Kwabena Dubois, huh? We're moving Sika from a state BMC to a private BMC. One thing. Sir, Kwabena Dubois, we're far buying Sika free point A. No, they are quite to the private account to point B. Part of one is Attorney General kind. Now, Attorney General Nankasa case now they call court no. The suit in the Republic versus Kwabena Dubois, Angela Ejebuaten, Mildred Donko, and Advantage Solutions Limited. There's nowhere in this document just say Kwabena Dubois we're moving a buying seeker and they are to private account. Who is deceiving who? Are you guys? What is wrong with you? Why? Why are you doing this? Why? You come to speak, organize a press conference, tell the entire nation that somebody moved money from point A to point B. Meanwhile, in your suit, it is not stated there. So who did you deceive? It is that Yoku and a DCV Attorney General.
He said it's Iyoko that has deceived the Attorney General. I don't know whether Iyoko has deceived the Attorney General, but there's another important thing we found. I think we shared it here before. The whole Kwabena Dubois trial, because we're very interested, we picked up the National Signals Bureau Act, Act 1040, to read it and to see, you know, where the whole. We are still very interested in the Dubois matter. Now, if you look at Section 14 of the National Signals Bureau, there's something there that's quite interesting. I don't know what to make of it. Of course, the Attorney General has the powers of prosecution under Article 88 of the Constitution, and the Attorney General decides how he wants to prosecute. And where you are comparing laws of parliamentary acts, because the Attorney General fundamentally prosecutes on Act 29 and Act 30, the Criminal Offences Act and the Criminal Procedure. So 29 and 30 is what he generally uses, apart from many other laws, cyber security and all that. But this is also an act of parliament. So if you are comparing two acts, 29 and another act of parliament, there are various ways in which the courts have determined which one should be should survive if two acts of parliament have a different or opposite opinion on how a matter should be done. Which one survives? Some people will say the later in time. That's an old common law principle they used to use. That some will say the later in time. So if the laws conflict and one came in 1980 and one came in 1989, many will advocate that let's use the one that came in 1989 because when they were writing the 1989, they knew of the 1980 and they wrote the 1989. So they intended the contradiction, something like that. So the later in time sometimes suffices. If we want to use the later in time, Act 29 and Act 30 were passed in 1960 and Act 10. So you can imagine Act 29 of Parliament and 30. What we've done with our Parliament, which is very important, I don't know who gave us the idea, we've done very well. We have continued the acts. So the military decrees are separate and then we continue. So when the coup came in 1981, if the last act was 25, the 1992 starts from 26. I think it's fantastic. So we have Act 29 and 30 in 1960. And then we have Act 1040 in 2022 or so. In Act 1040, it says, investigation of complaints under the National Signals Bureau. And this is a complaint against the head of the institution, the Director General of the National Signals Bureau. So this is what it says, investigating complaints. 14.1, a person aggrieved by an act or omission of the Bureau shall submit a written or oral complaint to the Director General. The Director General shall examine the complaint and take appropriate action within 30 days from the date of the receipt of the complaint. A person who makes a complaint to the Director General, okay, the only problem is that here we are dealing with the Director General himself. So I'm not sure who the complaint should have gone to. A person who makes a complaint to the Director General under subsection 1 may, where action is not taken on the complaint within the 30 days, the person is dissatisfied with the blah, 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 he shall submit a complaint to the Chief Justice. So I'm guessing that because this is about the Director General, the complaint conceived of under section 14 of the law should have gone to the Chief Justice. Okay. The Chief Justice, one more before this one. Okay, the Chief Justice Complaints Tribunal. The Chief Justice shall, on receipt of a complaint submitted under section 14, appoint within 60 days a tribunal of 3 persons to examine and determine the issues in the complaint. So this is very interesting. This is in the National Signals Bureau Act. It has to do with submitting complaints to the Director General. This is about the Director General. So we are suggesting that as the Act says, from the Director General, the next person to submit complaints is the Chief Justice. So it should have been, but I don't know the value of this in this anyway. All right, just the last bit. Justice Sremsai, the Deputy Attorney General, appeared to have heard Captain Smart, and so he put out something like a response. Here it is. The Attorney General's office has not lost any evidence regarding the ongoing Republic vs. Dubois criminal matter. As of June 18th, we had filed all the documents which we intend to rely on to prove the charges against the 4 accused persons in the case. The documents include contracts of sale, bank wire transfer, bank account statements, company registration documents, property ownership records, and purchase receipts, Interpol stolen vehicles records, investigative caution statements, and charge sheets. Accused person, records of assets and non-declaration, a flow chart of money movements through a complex web of bank accounts, and testimonies of our 3 witnesses. Further, 3 witnesses only. Okay. Further, court-certified copies of each of these documents have been duly served on each of the accused persons. So it is not even realistic that the documents could be lost so as to jeopardize the prosecution of the case. I'm not sure whether Captain Smart said documents were lost. Current state of affairs. Before the trial starts, legal vacation, blah, blah, blah. The first of our 3 prosecutions. Okay, the trial will resume in earnest in mid-October when the courts return from the legal vacation. Okay, so he said, but that's Captain Smart. I don't know whether Captain Smart's question is answered. Captain Smart's question is that there was a press conference which alleged something which was very serious, grave, and which offended and annoyed a lot of Ghanaians, and which could have even given justification for anyhow Edubwani is treated. But that information is not found among the charges. This is really what Captain Smart is saying. He's not talking about that the Attorney General doesn't have evidence or he's struggling to get evidence. No. He's saying that there was a specific attribution made. That attribution is not captured in the case, so that there's a suggestion that perhaps those who made the attribution found out that it's not true. Those who made the attribution, nobody no longer believe in it. But if that's so, because of the grave nature of the attribution, there has to be some apology rendered. I think so. If it is so that the people who made the attribution have now found out that nobody took money and put it in their private accounts, they may have to render an apology. Okay. So that ends that conversation over there. All right. Thank you very much. So we move on now. Okay, final one. Galamsey, final. Then we are coming to politics. So before the election, there was this conversation of Galamsey. Everybody was talking about it. And the MPP lost heavily as a result of the information that came out from the politicians that the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the government of the New Patriotic Party is responsible for the perpetration of Galamsey. Akufo-Addo is the only president in the Fourth Republic who had opened up a forum to deal with Galamsey and has had Galam stop and da. He was the only person who has done that. However, it was said that even though he demonstrated a public agenda to end Galamsey, the Galamsey was being perpetrated by he himself. And that one of the ways for the government to show that the Galamsey they were not participating in the Galamsey was to declare a state of emergency in all Galamsey areas. State of emergency means that people cannot even move freely. So if a state of emergency is declared and you are seen to be moving into a Galamsey, they kill you. Everyone believed that was the solution. Pressure was mounted on Akufo-Addo's government that anything you do, so long as you have not declared a state of emergency, Mr. President, you are guilty as charged. You and your party should be shown the exit. See Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa and a few others on this matter.
They should declare a state of emergency. All mining should just stop now.
Yes, we have to declare it. Declare a state of emergency.
Just as we declared lockdown during COVID, let there be a certain declaration of it. It shows seriousness.
Yes, I think that national emergency be declared now and today, not tomorrow.
President Akufo-Addo, stop Galamsey now! We will continue this fight and we will continue this struggle until our water bodies are protected.
It is his responsibility. The people of Ghana elected him. He is currently the president of Ghana. And it is his responsibility to deal with Galamsey now.
A few moments later.
I don't subscribe to the declaration of state of emergency as some other people are suggesting.
8 years, Galamsey has won. Yeah. You have promised that you're going to fight Galamsey. You haven't put the presidency or anything on the line, but you said you would fight it. 7 months in, we are not seeing much of a change. We are still seeing the same problems. Even though you're fighting in one way or the other, the Galamsey appears to be winning again.
It tells you how intractable the problem is. You know, when something starts, you can use force to quell it. But when it gains momentum up to a certain point, the same methods that you could have used to quell it in its nascent state are not the same methods that you can use to deal with it when it is blown up the way Galamsey is blown up now. So I'm sure you are not suggesting that nothing is being done about it.
No, something is being done.
Work is being done about it. And we hope to be able to find solutions.
We can rely on hope.
I don't subscribe to the declaration of state of emergency as some other people are suggesting. I don't subscribe to that at all, because in your frustration, you can call for certain measures that when we begin implementing, you can live to regret. I'm not sure many people who are calling for a state of emergency have actually lived under a state of emergency before. Because
that's how politics is. They said call for a state of emergency. Party chairman comes to power, 8 months later, he grants an interview to Umaru Sanda Esquire, says, I don't believe in a state of emergency. Maybe those who are saying it is very risky. Maybe those who didn't live in a state of emergency before, they are calling for it. But this was a campaign issue. It was used in the campaign. It was a big part of the campaign. But that is politics. People told us. We said no. They told us. We said no. Akufo-Addo should stop the water. The water is dirty. Ankobra, they had Ankobra here prayer here, something here. And then what is it? Akufo-Addo is going to hand over to Dr. Bawumia and they'll take the Galamsey on. Sam George says, stop Galamsey. Today, vindication is in the womb of time. I've always said it. Vindication, always in the womb of time. General, I salute. At least you spoke the truth. We love you for that. But I love your suit, oh, Charlie. The presidential thing is coming. General, you win. Don't worry, you win. Because the suit you were wearing when Umar Osanda interviewed you, my goodness, I just love it. And your beautiful tie and your spectacles. You look like Woodrow Wilson, the American president. General, you win. I've given it to you. The thing, you have won it already. You win. I give to General. He's my friend. All right. But the Galamsey story remains. Okay. The elephant is... yeah, I wanted to start that one. That one with that. What is the elephant? It's a winning symbol, isn't it? The elephant. Okay, the President Mahama declares that he will not run in 2028 elections. So, those of you who were skeptical, I knew that President Mahama that I know, he is not going to run. He's not even going to think about the changing constitution. He's not like that. He's not like that. But we kept hearing he wants to run a third term. President Mahama is trying to run a third term. It's finally done. Complete. Nobody should talk about that again. It is finished. It's final. End of story. Done, dusted. President Mahama declares that he will not run in the 2028 election. With that declaration, let's move to what has been happening this week. Just before that, producer, thank you very much. Just before I talk about what's happening this week at the NPP headquarters, I'd like to bring up these two gentlemen for commendation, especially Kwasi Kwarteng. I'm saying that the way the British say it. Kwasi Kwarteng. Kwasi Kwarteng speaks for Kennedy Japan. Miracles Abuaji, we all know. The way these two men have spoken, I think that we have to commend them, especially Kwasi Kwarteng, who is coming new to this thing. He used to speak for Educhum anyway. What fascinated me was when he was sitting in an interview when they showed him the Musa Dankwa polls. And they said, hey, Kwasi Kwarteng, Charlie, your man is chopping last. So Musa Dankwa says, Bawumia is on 52, your guy is 17. You sharp brutal. Why are you even still going for the contest? 17% you are talking like that. The way the provocation came, and I don't know whether the presenter was deliberate. If he was deliberate, he's a very good presenter. The way he put the question was kind of provocative. So Kwasi Kwarteng picked up the question and said, if it is 17% we have, it's a warning to us and a call on us to work harder. That's it. I looked at the guy, I said, I mean, he speaks very well all the time. But this one really impressed me. Because I thought he was going to say, what is his data? What's the database of it? Where did he get the data from? Who was he interviewed? Because if you look at the Musa Dankwa poll, you will find that the respondents, about 45% are 54 to 65. I'm yet to ask Musa Dankwa about that. But I don't understand why you have such a high part of the respondents being that old. Over 54 years, 54 to 65 is the highest part of Musa Dankwa's respondents. So when I see him, I'll ask him about that. But I thought Kwasi Kwarteng was going to go there, was going to challenge the database, challenge the foundation, and deal with it. But no, he said, if it's a 17% that we have, it's just a signal to us to work harder. I love that. I really, really love that. I like the way Miracles will always tell the presenters that I'm not going to debate him. It's about MPP and NDC. You're not going to get me to say anything. I like the way Miracles says that. So going forward, and Agba is in the studio. Agba is also very decent. You know that. We're going to be talking to him tonight. Going forward, if this continues, then expect to see a very, very good MPP contest ahead of January. Now, though, who should we watch first? Who do you want to watch first? I have Dr. Bawumia. I have Kennedy Japan. Each of them is about 2 minutes. And I have Brian Achampong, right? Okay. Let's watch Osei Aweduchum first.
From President Nkrumah through President Buzia, even military regimes, General Frifa Ankara and Kotoka, they all did something great, something memorable that we can look to and say, yeah, they did something. President Buzia came with rural industrial development agenda. That's something tremendous. Of course, we didn't want his term to end that quick. But even at Champon, when he took over, you can't talk about all the estates that were developed without mentioning a Champon. Then you move on to other governments that followed, Hilary Liman, all the way down to President Kufuor, President Rawlings, President Mills. You move on to President Mahama I, through Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, through Mahama II. All of them are doing their best for this nation, but I don't seem to understand why we cannot leave the bull by the horn and say to ourselves, the people of Ghana, we are sick and tired of poverty. We will wage war against poverty and win that war so that our children will not have to go through what we are going through now. In the coming days and weeks, we'll get the opportunity to share our vision. I know the chairman was gracious enough to ask me to do brief remarks. As a teacher and a parliamentarian, how do I do brief remarks? But today I'll do my very best because I know this room is packed and it's warm and it will get warmer. So I'll end here by saying I'm grateful to the New Patriotic Party. As the vice chair of the California chapter of the New Patriotic Party, we work hard from the diaspora. Later did I know that the diaspora work will translate to country work. And now I'm in country. And we are working. We're going to work together. We'll change the course of history of this nation through the New Patriotic Party.
Economic policies no, the only economic policy that I need to be going to speak about is that you, Ghanaians, will prosper. There will be money in your pocket. You get the opportunity to buy cars. You get the opportunity to buy a house. To me, that is the most important economic policy. And in the years in India, and that I need to campaign one tip of Akasia and economic policy Akasia, the other thing in the mayor, where Ababa, now say, I name and Koye. Dr. Dichum say, office be a friend of Prosperity Center. Uko be so, Uko be brown, Uko better chow, a crown fast will be ye. Now also ye. Now we are here, Utra, and I'm not gonna ye.
Very interesting revolutionary thoughts by Osei Aduchum. And essentially he said that, well, if he's going to be like a job center, going to help young people to make money and to be wealthy and to live well. And at the back of that, taxes will be, at the back of that, revenue collection from taxes will go up and that Ghanaians can have a good time. That's Osei Aduchum. Now, the other day we're doing permutations about the key leaders in the NDC. Well, I think that there are a few additions to it now that President Mahama has indicated that he's not running publicly. I think there are a few additions to those names. But we were looking at Osei Aduchum here. If Osei Aduchum were to win the MPP race, you're going to have him and Julius Debra. What kind of contest are you envisaging, viewers? If Julius Debra wins the NDC race, Osei Aduchum wins the MPP race, what are you envisaging? How does it look? How does it feel? Who are you going to vote for? I think you're going to vote for Any similarities, differences? Difficult to tell. But think about it. Think about it and let's know what you think. Okay, let's move on to Osei Aduchum and Johnson Asiedu Nketia. That's an interesting one, isn't it? That's really interesting. If Johnson Asiedu Nketia were to win the NDC race and Osei Aduchum were to win the MPP race, you see the kind of thing. Similarities? They are all from the village. Similarities, they are all from the village. They all grew up in the village and they've grown up to become very important people. Differences? One is a politician, one is a teacher, or they are both politicians. Maybe they are both politicians. Any more similarities? I don't know. One has more hair than the other, isn't it? One has more hair than the other, you can see. I don't know whether there are any more similarities, but this one is something very interesting to think about, isn't it? There's a third one. Is there not okay, there's no case Latoforsen. Okay, it means that my producer dropped him from the Duchum list. Okay, so Latoforsen is not going to win anything. We should forget about him. Let's move on now and watch Kennedy Ohene Agyapong. He also featured.
Good afternoon, election committee members. Myself and my team are happy to be here this afternoon to submit our forms. We want to say a big thank you. I know the crowd is too much and the place is hot for you. I kindly accept my apology. All I want to say is we are one party and we need unity in this party. And if there will be unity, there should be fairness. So I'm entreating the election committee, the national executives, regional constituency executives, that we should be fair to all the candidates so that we have smooth elections. And if there's fairness, definitely there will be unity. So I'm only asking for unity in this party. It's very paramount. I always say that without the unity, none of the candidates can win the election alone. And if we get unity, it will first, charity begins at home. The national executives that are in charge of the party, the elections committee, regional constituency executives, and the aspirants themselves. When we all come together and understand each other, I believe we can make progress. So I'm entreating each and everyone in the party to accept everybody's opinion and let's go ahead with whatever we are doing without backstabbing people and all these things. It will not help the party. So I will not say much here. All I'm saying is I'm entreating you to ensure fairness so that there will be peace and unity in the party. And if there's unity and peace in the party, we will definitely win 2028 election.
If you want to make a poor young trouble, who will be a bar? Yes, it's a Japan, who didn't buy a better. What you pass you want? Yes, I'm going to Japan, run a better woman. The fame and young and people. And you to me, your partner, second chance in your pay. You to me and now for a second chance. A second chance. So second chance and put to me no and on our partner. And in our partner.
As for Sticker, I love him more. Sticker, you have to love Sticker. What are you going to do about it? You have to love him. This is Kennedy Agyapong's photograph here when he was handing his forms over. That's Kwesi Kwarteng, my guy. Kwesi Kwarteng, the guy who was just congratulating. He speaks very well. I saw Kwesi Nyantakyi, the former Ghana Football Association president, also there. That's Pelgrave Boakye Dankwa. Kennedy Agyapong is running like the American-style candidate. You know, he has a cap on, he's a white shirt, you know, Texas, you know, that kind of thing, New York, yeah. Yankee, very Yankee, you know. He's running like the American candidate of the NPP Congress race. Would he win? Could he win? Can he win? I don't know. In his message to the delegates, he said to them, message to his supporters, he said to them that he believes that they have also heard that when you sit in Trotro, they tell you that if NPP had Kennedy, will vote for him. I don't know. Have you heard? I don't know. He says when you sit in, go to the bar station, you go to the beer bar, everywhere you go, basically where ordinary Ghanaians are coalescing, he's suggesting that they are saying that if NPP were to bring Kennedy, they will win. So it is important. He's begging them that they should take him so that all the NPP wins. And then he said that it's not about second chance, etc., etc. So that's Kennedy Agyapong's conclusion. He had the second biggest crowd anyway. The largest crowd was seen today by Mahamudu Bawumia. And the decoration of the stage and the way they put up the podium, you have to give it to them. I'm going to ask Agba those questions very soon. So that's the end of Kennedy Agyapong. Brian Acheampong.
My campaign will be one of unity. My campaign will be devoid of insults. My campaign will be to explain the issues and the challenges that we have as a party, and the reason why, when voted into office as flag bearer, I shall do everything I can to help in the rebuilding of our party. I come to unite. I come to build. I come to lead with conviction, and I come to win power for NPP. Campaign mafe, je campaign ya ajemoko. Ninka ma kenken supporters hu, ake kamboko po jebie. Nyeka fueda. Nyeka fueda because kanya fueda e bagba wo fe wona. Polling station 4. Mona party no ayamudia. Yeah, G party no assign Eddie Abramo. Yeah, the party no eba base ho. Na monya ahode ni ahokeka Eddie aye campaign na polling station ho. Ama MPP Eddie Abapawa. Make the Ghanaian young people have belief in me. So the MPP go vote for me. The Ghanaian people go vote for me. Make young people get jobs do. Make we get opportunities spread and make everybody get some do. Make we lift Ghana again.
Smoke. Brian Acheampong Smoke. It's cool, isn't it? Yeah, so that was Brian Acheampong also launching his campaign. We already did the permutations for him in terms of how he can work. People were fine, but it shows the MPP have some grassroots excitement, at least from what happened in the head office in Accra. We're going to be showing Dr. Bawumia's videos as well as we begin the conversation with Agba. But Fatih is first going to tell us. Fatih, are there some text messages coming in?
All right. Thank you. So this is coming from Alhaji Bob City, and he says, posterity is catching them gradually, inshallah. Ghanaians will get to know who the NDC are. They are into full galamsey business now than ever. Most of the top NDC gurus are destroying our forests and water bodies everywhere. Vindication is really in the womb of time. Master Planner Jr. all the way from Kintampo also comes to say Galamsey is now fighting President Mahama and his government. President Mahama promised to repel the LI 2462, but he failed to do so after winning power. This clearly shows that he's not ready to stop Galamsey. Today, NDC MP for our win is doing Galamsey and many others. Daniel Abdullahi also says, it looks like everything is falling apart too quickly for the NDC. Very soon, those born within the year 2000 and now, who thinks NDC has some credibility, will soon know the true colors of the umbrella. Master Planner Jr. says, thank you very much for this wonderful education. You make legal issues so interesting and we are so proud of you. Raphael also says, nothing has been fruitful for the NDC since they came in. All the noise and false accusations are being soaked in the waters and they are losing all cases levied against all their opponents. God, the judge of all, is making situations slip right under their watch. Also, Raymond says, don't muddy the waters by comparing Dr. Nkrumah to these current so-called doctors. GTech is trying to sterilize the system. Nkrumah's doctorate doesn't need authentication. His work has already been proven. And lastly, coming from Asas, he says NDC don't believe in intellectuals, so they don't know what it takes to attain the doctor and professorship title. Now back to you, Paul.
Okay, so let me read these text messages from. Oh, it's coming. Okay, he says Cooper Esquire says that Professor Stephen Azar is not a professor of law. He's a professor of accounting, even though he's also a lawyer. And then he says this important thing. Based on the doctrine of generalibus specialibus, non derogan, the Attorney General should have invoked the National Signals Bureau Act if there is any conflict between the NSB Act and Act 29 in terms of charges relating to the prosecution of Kwabena Edubuahi. Eleasu, my friend from Tamale, says, good evening, Paul. The MPP is not doing any gambling in 2028 elections. We have a more and most marketable Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia. He is the NDC's nemesis. We won't sell our color TV for Kunkunte TV. Hey, Eliasu, we won't gamble. No, not this time round. Okay, that's from Eliasu. I'm sure that when we go to the next round of text messages, you'll have quite a bit. Okay, you can be rolling the Dr. Bawumia video as Agba talks to us. Agba, what was the mood in the camp before the submission, given the last-ditch sort of attack?
You know, as usual, Dr. Bawumia is a very calm person, and he's surrounded by equally calm individuals, you know, likes of Osechi Mensah Bonsu, Fred Owari, Kojo Nkrumah, you know, Samuel Oku, and all of us. And so we have the capacity to manage some of these attacks, mindful of the fact that at the end of the day, it is only unity that can help the NPP to secure victory. Particularly when we are very much convinced that Dr. Bawumia would emerge victorious in January 2026. So we're able to accommodate that. We treat it as normal in a democratic, competitive political process.
So this is the second time Dr. Bawumia is trying to do this. It's a very short time because 23 and 24 was campaign, and then 25 is also campaign for him. So he's been on the campaign trail for quite a bit for the same thing. It's 26 January. If he wins, campaign continues, as it were. What was the message now, which is different from the 2023 message to delegates?
The difference here, apart from the fact that he reiterated the character and values of the New Patriotic Party that should guide the rank and file in the choice of a new leader, a recognition that the defeat of 2024 has provided him an opportunity to reflect and to learn from some of the challenges that we encountered in the period 2017 and 2024, and how these challenges would guide how he prosecutes, first of all, the NPP campaign for 2028, and ultimately how he would lead the NPP to form government and to fulfill the promises that we're going to make to the Ghanaian people. So that recognition stood out, because you must first of all recognize that the defeat was painful, and you must accept some of the reasons scientifically established. I say scientifically established because a number of surveys have been conducted on why the NPP lost, and so therefore we know some of the reasons. So it is important to take these reasons on board as you fashion out, first of all, a new campaign message if you are elected flag bearer, and ultimately how you keep to those promises when you're given power. He also emphasized the need for the NPP not to depart from its values of reward for intellect, for competence, for hard work, for humility, respect for our diversity as a country. Because since 1957, the NPP political tradition has been at the forefront in expanding the frontiers of our democracy, in respecting the diversity of our country, and consistently encouraging that leadership must be on the basis of competence, not tribe, not religion. Because at the end of the day, you're going to lead a very diverse country, and you must have the capacity to be able to pursue policies which ultimately would benefit everybody, regardless their ethnicity, their religion, and where they were born. And so he put that argument out strongly. He also made reference to his preparedness. You know, the NPP is going into January to elect somebody that we are hoping would be president. But you also want a president who can deliver on your core programs, so that at the end of the day, the Ghanaian people will see the difference between the NPP and the NDC. So he says that he's the only candidate in this race who is prepared for the job of a president. You know, he has been running mate for 16 years, and he has been vice president for 8 years. And as he indicated in the speech, as vice president, he was very instrumental in rolling out some of the initiatives that are so impactful today. In fact, a few days ago, I was listening to the policy advisor to the current vice president, former national chairman of the NDC, elogizing, you know,
the digitalization and technology, mobile money.
Absolutely.
We use that story.
You used it, exactly. So Dr. Bawumia recounted his impact as vice president and says that based on the experiences in the last 8 years, he believes that as president, he would be better. And you heard him say that because of the tremendous work he did in the last 8 years, many people hold the view that he's arguably Ghana's most impactful vice president. And he believes that given the opportunity to be president, he would be one of the most impactful presidents that we'll ever have in our nation's history. Then he spoke about formidability. There's no doubt that, and I've made this point this evening on Asase Radio, that 2028 would be a very unique election. It's going to be an election, at least for the first time in this fourth republic, that you have a ruling party seeking a second term without the sitting president being eligible for that. All right? In 2016, we had a situation where a sitting president...
Seeking a third term. It happens when you're seeking a third term.
Exactly. In 2016, the sitting president was seeking a second term, but his party was in his eighth year. So that's the distinction. So 2028 is going to be unique because the NDC would have a president who will not be eligible for a second term. What that means is that the NDC would be electing a new candidate. The NPP with Dr. Bawumia would be in a better position to make a quick return to power because you're going to have Dr. Bawumia who would have that name recognition. So when he spoke about formidability, he made the argument that he has visited each constituency in this country 5 times in the last 16 years. That means that he possesses name recognition. That will be an advantage to the New Patriotic Party in 2028. And therefore, the NPP cannot gamble with that. And if you also look at our political history, parties have adopted this strategy, at least post-1992, post-1996, to repeat candidates. The whole rationale is that when you repeat a candidate, you're closer to winning the election. And so, exactly. So after 1996, the NPP repeated candidate Kufuor for the 2000 elections. He had around 39% in 1996.
But they say we didn't repeat candidate Kufuor for candidate Dubois for 96.
I'm coming. And so that's why I said that at least for this fourth republic, and many analysts somehow argue, it's debatable, that the NPP's, delay in coming back to power, in winning elections was as a result of the change in 1996. There are those who make that argument. That's why I said
that if 1996 had repeated
Eduboahin,
he would have defeated Rawlings.
Probably he would have defeated Rawlings. That's why I said it's debatable. You know, but from 1996, what we have seen in these two major political parties is that it makes political sense to repeat a candidate because that brings you closer to winning power.
But that's generating an entitlement argument.
No, it's not an entitlement argument. It is not entitlement because you are going through the democratic process to elect the candidate. You are not saying that, well, merely because you contested in 1996, we're taking you into the election. So candidate Kufuor was competed against in 1998 by Akufo-Addo and Malik Alassane Yakubu from my hometown. You know, he went on to win the election, defeating the sitting vice president, Professor Mills. The NDC learned from the strategy of the NPP by repeating Professor Mills until he was able to secure victory in 2008. In 2008, the NPP lost. All the arguments that have been made against Dr. Bawumia today were made against President Akufo-Addo, and you covered it. Oh, it's the candidate. The NPP lost because of the candidate. He's arrogant. He's this. He's not appealing. He won just 2 regions. In fact, at that time, 3 regions: Ashanti, Eastern, and Brong-Ahafo region. And
no, he won 2 actually in the first round.
Actually, he
didn't win Brong-Ahafo.
He won
Ashanti
3.
And Eastern.
He won 3 in the first round, and
The
lost
second
Brong-Ahafo in the second round.
Yeah.
All right. And so all these arguments were made.
But the argument being made is that in that regard, in 2008, Akufo-Addo actually did win the first round. It's just the circumstance of the constitutional.
No. The constitutional threshold is 50% plus 1.
I get it, but he led.
Any other figure below 50%,
it's not a win.
It's a loss.
Fair enough. But he outdid the NDC candidate. He beat the NDC candidate.
No doubt. But the point
and
I'm
that's
making,
significant, and that justifies why he should be repeated.
The point I'm making, and interestingly, in 2012, the votes came down from the 2008 figure. All right. In fact, we lost the 2008 elections by a little above 30,000.
Oh, yeah. In 2012, the defeat was heavier. That's what it means.
Over 300,000.
Yes.
But the NPP...
And it was a first round for the opponent.
But the NPP still recognized that to be able to win power in 2016, there was the need to repeat Akufo-Addo because of formidability.
No, but that's also because of Dr. Bawumia's work, as he himself referred to. The court case convinced people that Akufo-Addo may have actually won the election.
But the fundamental point, at least what is on record, is that the New Patriotic Party lost in 2012. We can explain the loss.
Yes, but they didn't accept it.
We can explain the loss.
Yes.
But what is on record is that we lost.
Yes.
And indeed, a loss that the Supreme Court affirmed in a 5-4 decision. Now, the New Patriotic Party went ahead to repeat him because of his formidability, his name recognition, right? And the fact that it was less expensive for the New Patriotic Party to present Akufo-Addo and to market him. So he won the 2016 election landslide. The NDC, learning from that, repeated John Dramani Mahama, and we saw, a remarkable performance in 2020 and ultimately victory in 2024. So it is in the best interest of the New Patriotic Party to approach the 2028 elections with Dr. Bawumia as presidential candidate, especially so when it will be the first time that the ruling party would be seeking a re-election with the sitting president being ineligible. So I think that would, because, Paul, when a ruling party is approaching an election, seeking a second term, I made the point last week that there's that theory of incumbency advantage. And so if you're facing a sitting president who is going on a second term, chances are that he will be re-elected. He will be re-elected. That advantage will be missing in 2028. All right? And I dare say that the advantage would be to the New Patriotic Party if we repeat Dr. Bawumia, because the NDC will be presenting a new candidate. And so he made this argument.
But if the NDC is presenting a new candidate, if I may ask, if he's presenting a new candidate, how is that an advantage to Dr. Bawumia, who is an old candidate, as against an MPP new candidate? Because the reasons you're advancing is that the incumbent is not sitting. Incumbent is not running. So if the incumbent is not running, the advantage is to the NPP party. And someone will say, therefore, that if it's Dr. Bawumia, he has the same advantage. If it's another person from the NPP, or is there a particular advantage that accrues to the one who has been there before?
The NPP's advantage is the fact that you are presenting a candidate who would have been widely known.
Better than the NDC candidate.
Better than the NDC candidate.
But does that work today?
It does.
So that in this country, Dr. Bawumia is better known than Johnson Asiedu Nketia?
Johnson Asiedu Nketia has not run for president.
Okay, so when you say better known, you mean somebody who's run for president?
Who's run for president, who has been everywhere in this country.
But there are people who've run for president who are less known than you, Agba.
Well, I mean, we're talking about
the two big parties.
Two major parties. Okay. I mean, running on the ticket of the NDC and the NPP is not the same as running on the ticket.
But if Dr. Bawumia runs for president and he's toured the country, as he says, 5 times, but in each of these tours, he has gone with an Opariansa, is that person not also just as known as Dr. Bawumia?
No.
It's not, okay.
No,
okay.
It's not.
Because this is the candidate.
This is a candidate.
Okay.
This is a person people went into the polling booth to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
This is a person they identify. This is a person whose vision they can assess. There's nobody in this country who questioned the vision of Dr. Bawumia, his ideas. Mm-hmm. And there's nobody who doubts that these ideas are capable of transforming our country. And so we're saying that that is an advantage for the New Patriotic Party, an advantage that we should not gamble with. Okay? And beyond everything is his character, his integrity. I make the point all the time that he has the qualities that Ghanaians traditionally esteem: respect for everybody, competence, compassion, humility, decency, discipline. And these are the attributes that you need in a president. About a month ago, I made reference to this book. I don't know if you, because you're an avid reader, I don't know if you have come across it. It's written by a US political scientist titled The Presidential Character. Predicting...
I've seen it, but I've not read it.
Predicting performance in the White House.
Oh, that's what it's about. I've seen it. Presidential character. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, then he said that candidates who possesses what he called active positive traits are able to do better as presidents. Who are these people? People who are calm, people who are intelligent, people who are innovative, people who have integrity, people who have discipline, people who have decency, people who have emotional intelligence. And he makes the argument that to be president is to occupy a position that brings immense public pressure. And therefore, you need somebody who has the emotional intelligence to be able to contain this enormous public pressure. He says that the presidency requires sanity. And if you look at all these character traits, you would find them in Dr. Bawumia. It is on the basis of all of these things that we're saying that he is the best candidate for the New Patriotic Party, not just the candidate who will win us election, but the candidate who will lead a great transformation of our country that every NPP member would be proud to have him as president.
So what about those your critics who say that, why are you not allowing us to look at Dr. Bawumia's performance in 2024? Everyone calls it abysmal, the lowest performance of the New Patriotic Party, earning 41-something%. The expectation of votes that we thought Dr. Bawumia would gain from certain sectors of the society did not come. And so what is the strength of this candidate that we should repeat him?
So first of all, it is inaccurate for people to assert that the performance in 2024 is the worst in the NPP's history. That's not accurate. Mm-hmm. It is not a performance that any NPP member
well, maybe post-Rawlings. Post-Rawlings.
So it is not a performance that any NPP member should be excited about. All right? It's not a performance that Dr. Bawumia himself is happy with. But a lot of factors militated against the New Patriotic Party. And like I said, there have been scientifically established reasons on why the NPP lost. None of these reasons pointed to Dr. Bawumia, but Dr. Bawumia's candidates has been responsible for that. Now, all right, the issue of apathy, for instance, in many of the studies, was as a result of actions of government officials. Government officials were in their thousands.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you pin that to the presidential candidate? Okay, the cost of living crisis was real, and it has been identified. In fact, if you see in many of these surveys, the respondents identified cost of living as the major reason in their voting behavior. And Paul,
including sitting at home?
Including?
Sitting at home, you said the cost of living was responsible for the voting behavior. So one of the behaviors would be to vote for the NDC. The other one would be to boycott.
To stay away.
The boycott was also occasioned by cost of living crisis?
That's the party I refer to as being a product of actions and inactions of government officials.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the cost of living issue, it has never been in doubt that they were exogenous factors. It was never the responsibility. In fact, Akufo-Addo was not responsible for those exogenous factors. All right? Indeed, the Akufo-Addo government accepted these realities. You remember one of his addresses to the Ghanaian people, where he himself acknowledged that he has never in his life seen or witnessed the kind of crisis that we saw in 2021 and 2022. But you see, I always make the point that, governance is not a rosy enterprise that is going to be all rosy. You're going to have challenges. Leadership is how you deal with the challenges. How did the government respond to those challenges? We're beginning to see the results of the interventions of the Akufo-Addo government. So cost of living issues, which afflicted the whole world and was responsible for as many as over 70 ruling parties losing elections in 2024, cannot be pinned down to candidate Bawumia. It couldn't have been so. All right? So that is why we say that the lessons from 2024 would be useful for Dr. Bawumia as presidential candidate in 2028 and ultimately his presidency. Unless anybody can point to any survey which blames the candidate for our defeat. In fact, I have heard other analysts say that but for the spirited campaign Dr. Bawumia mounted in 2024,
the defeat could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
Okay, so let's be wrapping up. But let me ask you, I interviewed a prophet, and you've heard about the role of prophets in politics these days. I interviewed a prophet in this studio who predicted firmly that Kennedy Agyapong was going to win the election. I have seen other prophets who have prophesied that Dr. Bawumia is going to win as well. But how does the Bawumia camp receive these kinds of information? That a well-known prophet with some credibility says that God says Kennedy Agyapong is going to win.
We believe that God gives leadership to whom he wills and takes from whom he wills. We believe that at the end of the day, it is what God decrees that will matter, not what anybody says. And so we're working hard. We are praying also to our God, and we are very confident that in January 2026, Dr. Bawumia will be retained as the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I just saw something written on social media. I don't know whether it's connected to this program, but somebody was saying that it is laughable how Dr. Bawumia supporters say that Dr. Bawumia already has 41%. Let's give him the 9% he needs to win, rather than go for somebody whose percentage we don't know. And he asked in the Facebook post that is the 41% staying and waiting and guaranteed in that manner. If that is so, does the NDC also have a guaranteed 56%? If the NDC have a guaranteed 50%, then NPP need not even run the election.
So, the faulty nature of this argument is that we're talking about candidates, he's talking about party. And if we're talking about candidates,
Yeah, Mahama has 57.
Mahama is not in the race.
He's not. He's gone.
It's gone.
Okay, so the NDC start from where?
So his argument is not valid.
Yeah, because you're comparing party and you're comparing the candidate who will not be there
So
and the candidate who is there.
The whole idea is that at least we know that within the party, Dr. Bawumia has a solid base that we can build on. It's as simple as that. That we know that at least 40+% of Ghanaians believe in his vision. They believe in his leadership. They believe that he's capable of being an effective president. So what the NPP needs to do is to build on that and to secure the 50+1% in 2028.
What are people saying, Fatih? Let's hear some text messages as we wrap up on this show.
All right, thank you, Paul. So coming from Chefman Osei, he comes up to say, like Honorable Kenneth Japon rightly said, the NPP leadership must show fairness in all their dealings this time, so that at the end, the party can have a very united front for power in 2028. I am a delegate and I am voting for Honorable Osei Yao Edichum. The gambling is over. Master Planner Jr. from Kintampo says, Lawyer Akbar is such a fantastic communicator with great analysis. Dr. Bawumia has shown that he is the most prepared candidate to lead the NPP to victory on December 7th, 2028, inshallah. And I'm pleading with NPP delegates to vote for him to lead us to victory in 2028. Now, Nixon Ishan says, my boss Akbar is a solid material for the NPP and Dr. Bawumia's team. LC from Tamale says, Brian and Ken's only remaining option is to put in the necessary effort to guarantee Dr. Bawumia's victory in the 2028 election, thus ensuring his full 8 years term and ultimately clearing the path for their own ascension. Abdul Ibrahim says, Akbar never disappoints with respect to eloquent submission. Rafat Hussein says, it's clearly seen and stated that Dr. Bawumia is now the face of the party. Everything played out at the party headquarters. Jina Akbar also says, I bring powerful greetings to you and Lawyer Akbar. Critical thinker will understand that the DMB team is going to beat all of them, and we believe in him. He's the best amount to the rest. And lastly, coming from Charles Osei, says, Bawumia's speech today clearly demonstrated that he possesses the qualities of a presidential leader and is well positioned to lead the NPP. The difference is clear if we compare it to the other aspirants. Bawumia is the only candidate who effectively criticized the John Mahama government during his speech. He's likely to win the presidential primaries. Now back to you, Paul.
All right, Akbar, your last words, and then we'll be wrapping it up on this show.
I would also reiterate his appeal to the rank and file of the New Patriotic Party to keep the process peaceful and decent. You know, we must recognize that unity would be central to our victory in 2028. And therefore, we must conduct our affairs in a manner that will make it easier for all of us to come together and work with the eventual winner so that the New Patriotic Party can go on to win the election. We must, as much as possible, try to reduce the acrimony. You know, one of the major issues which worked against us in 2024 was the divisive nature of the 2023 presidential primary. And you saw some of the adverse from the NDC and the fact that they were relying on actions by leading members of the NPP ahead of the 2023 presidential election. As much as possible, we should avoid it. And I like the commitment of Dr. Bawumia that if anybody would engage in any activity which would divide the NPP, it certainly will not be Dr. Bawumia.
Okay, viewers, we had I had my Ghana Water people here, but time has run out. We'll take them Tuesday, but I'm going to have a conversation with them after the show. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Akbar. Good luck to Dr. Bawumia and his team, and safe travels on the roads as you guys go to speak to delegates from all over the world. That's it for Good Evening Ghana. It's past 11. Thank you for staying with us. Good night.
Welcome to Cook Africa. Straight to the Ashanti region. Hey, well, talk about my boy. You go back there today. Even a few days ago, you were offended. You and this character went